welcome to our English news broadcast to you on Canal, Algérie. To the headlines. How can the digitization of the agricultural sector solve the problem of agricultural land, and to what extent the new census could change the situation 22 years after the last census? Congratulations, Algeria reaches the quarter-final of its U17 CAN by settling for a draw against Congo 1-1. In Sudan, Khartoum has had no respite. The announced truce has been broken. The UN agencies are sounding the alarm and recalling the worrying figures of more than 400 dead and not less than 300,000 displaced. Finally, an exhibition that brings together the best of Algerian craftsmanship, Madin Bladi, brings together craftsmen and women from the four corners of the country, a sector that should be a real success. Welcome back. First in our news, Algeria is the quarter-final. Indeed, after a draw 1-1, our boys ended second of the group and will be playing for their next game, the first of Group B. Worth mentioning that the winner of the next game will be qualified to the Under-17 World Cup. The Minister of Culture and Arts, Soraya Mouloudji, took part in the meeting of the Ministers of Culture of the Group 77 plus China, organized in Havana, the capital of Cuba. Cultural heritage and sustainable development was the theme of this edition, an occasion for Soraya Mouloudji to recall the African orientation and impetus given by the President of the Republic in favor of Africa and its economic, social and cultural development through the strengthening of our Pan-Africanist commitments. Let's listen.
I would like to recall how proud we are to be a significant actor in what is known as the South, and to speak about the cultural policy of my country, which is committed to South-South cultural cooperation in the service of the objectives of sustainable development, particularly within the South to which we belong. Here, we would like to recall first the African orientation and impetus given by His Excellency Mr. the President Abdelmajid Tebboune in favor of Africa and its economic, social and cultural development through the strengthening of our Pan-Africanist commitments, interpreted by the increasing significant presence of Algeria in the major international organization, the development of a wide-ranging partnership cooperation toward the continent, and by the creation of the International Agency for Cooperation and Economic Development, whose efforts are essentially directed towards the South.
A strategy to update agricultural statistics through the digitization of the sector was set up 22 years after the last census. According to experts, this policy will also resolve issues related to agricultural land in Algeria. Man Al-Amari has more.
2023 is the year of the consolidation of agricultural land. No more approximate data, which led to a lack of visibility in the sector and results that did not meet the expectations and potentialities. In order to receive reliable data and charts, the state launched various operations to develop this strategic sector, starting with the third general land census next October, with a budget of about 800 million dinars. This operation, which intervenes 22 years after the second national census in 2001, will enable the updating of agricultural statistics and attract investors. The land census operation is very important since it helps with putting an end to land issues in Algeria. A law must be set up to easily clear up the situation of each farmer who has estate land to cultivate and be able to invest in the medium or long term. We consolidate the land and make crops profitable according to their specialties to automatically contribute to Algeria's production and reinforce food self-sufficiency. One of the major challenges is increasing cultivable areas and making fallow land profitable. The only way is to use modern agricultural technologies known as smart agriculture, starting with the digitization of this field and applying modern techniques such as the technical route and using the 40% of fallow land, which is very important. To face water stress, the Great South, enriched by the largest body of underground water in the world, is a quintessential agricultural hub, which has great potential to develop the cereal sector in order to enable Algeria to increase its production and reach self-sufficiency, to be free of imports.
Speaking about self-sufficiency and food security, let's move now to Timimun province, where the threshing harvest season has started. The example of a farm located in the municipality of Ogurt, all means have been put in place to make this operation a real success. Report Dunya Nawali, commentary by Rani Al-Bahri.
This farm, situated in Ogurt municipality in Timimun province, was cultivated to produce large quantities of cereals. We have benefited from several facilitations, whether in administrative procedures or at the level of interprofessional cereals office. The goal is to further develop agriculture in Algeria. More than 600 hectares were cultivated this year at the level of Timimun province, whether by tract irrigation system or by traditional system. We are optimistic and we expect a very good harvest this year. All human and material resources have been deployed to ensure that this thresh and harvest campaign is successful. Even the storage operation will be done quickly. Harvesters were provided for this operation. 8 of them were provided by the Interprofessional Cereals Office. This is part of the plan of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Compared to last year, the cultivated areas have increased by 25%. We expect a yield of more than 200,000 quintals. Big efforts have been made by the state to support farmers and facilitate all procedures. The production of cereals plays an important role in the world of food security. These facilitations aim to guarantee our self-sufficiency and our food security.
In the province of Ouargla, civil defense units joined forces with the People's National Army to control a fire that broke out in Palm Grove. In Qasr Ouargla, 130 date palms and 5 hectares were decimated by the fire. Fortunately, no human lives were lost, according to the list report. And to protect our pilgrims against some contaminations and allow them to accomplish the 5th pillar of Islam in the best conditions, a vaccination operation is going on at the Bir Murad Rais Health Center, which receives every day several tens of pilgrims wishing to be vaccinated for the smooth running of the Hajj rituals. Clashes continue in Sudan since the ceasefire that was supposed to offer respite to the inhabitants of Khartoum was not respected, and now the United Nations agencies are sounding the alarm due to a risk of escalation. Details with Man Al-Amari.
The 5 million inhabitants of the capital Khartoum were awakened on Friday morning by airstrikes and machine gun fires. Despite the announcement of a new ceasefire until May 11th, the clashes between the ruling army led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the rapid support forces of General Mohammed Hamdan Daglo are still clashing for 21 days in a row, while the truces were repeatedly violated by the two sides. This conflict, which has been tearing up the country since April 15th, has resulted in at least 457 deaths. More than 2,366 were wounded, while 335,000 people were displaced. These conflicts also forced 115,000 others into exile, according to estimates by the UN, that is demanding 400 million euros to help the country. The UN warned that the 860,000 Sudanese and South Sudanese people who returned to their homes risk crossing the borders in the next few months. Meanwhile, diplomatic initiatives are increasing in Africa and the Middle East to find a solution to this conflict. Arab foreign affairs ministers will hold a meeting on Sunday to discuss the Sudanese file.
We will take you now to an exhibition that bears its name very well. Made in Bladi brought together Algerian artisans and craftsmen. The exhibitors seem very proud, whereas the visitors were delighted to find several products at their disposal. Report by Firia Al-Hamdi. More details with Rania Al-Bahri.
These artisans offer the best of their know-how for a perfect combination between modernity and tradition. We participate in this exhibition, which is very important, especially since it is under the theme Made in Bladi. I'm here to bring a little touch of greenery. I think it's important that the people offer plants. We recycle everyday objects to make decorative objects, and we call it recycle art. I'm inspired a lot by heritage, and that's how I contribute to the preservation of the heritage of our country. For all the craftsmen who participate in this exhibition, the main thing is to make the history of Algeria known, in particular through these objects. I came here on purpose to buy something traditional that I could wear when I go abroad to show what we do in my country. This exhibition offers a bit of everything from clothing objects and everything related to interior decoration. Its objective is to relaunch craftsmanship and strengthen craft activities.
That was it for today. Thank you for joining us. Good night.